you want to talk about your own project, this is the time to do so. Can't quite see everybody. Let's see. Maybe I fix this camera. A placeholder is hard to hold it up here. All right, so I didn't hear anybody come up yet. That's fine. That's fine. Again, this is something we do every day. Remember, God is the reason that I'm here. It's still a religious holiday on the other side of the world. It's really good to be able to talk to my friends about the difference between people who study Christianity and people who study Islam, and about that story of Abraham, the very first story, the reason that these two religions are split up. It's really two different stories in the Bible, but the story of Ishmael versus Isaac is the first story that split up the two religions. And then there's another story about the birthright. And I'll go into another day, because I love talking about religion and politics, even though those are the things people are scared to talk about, I tell you. All right, but indeed, also remember, we're going to talk about money. Anything I have to say about money is just entertainment purposes only. It's not financial advice. If you need financial advice, I ask that you get the help of a financial advisor, and just realize I don't want to offend anybody. I want to give everybody a solid chance. And again, I love to hear a beautiful woman's voice to start out this show. If DeFi Doll or Kayla, if Kayla's up there, if you want to talk, this is a wonderful time while I get these lesson plans ready. Maybe I'll put this hoodie on. But yeah, I'm glad to be up here. What a pretty day, too. Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. Yes, indeed. And yeah, we started teaching dance for little children for the summer session today. That's why I'm starting so sweaty. Oh, there you are. Hey, Kayla. Everybody say hey to Kayla.
Hello, everyone. Today we are diving into the NFT world and three of the most innovative projects out right now. We are comparing communities across Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, and Bitcoin NFT. It creates cultural value and starting power time. Then we are looking at the future. What NFT communities are truly built for mass adoption, cheap cost, and actually useful beyond speculation. And finally, a brand new idea how NFTs and competitive art systems could help cities, communities, and innovations grow in the right world. Lock in, let's learn it. Thank you.
Yay, let's go. That's right. Let's lock in. Woo, what a wonderful day. I love to hear your voice, Kayla. You're wonderful, and this really motivates me to get started. So we got the whole lesson plans. Kayla said that we were going to go. She mentioned the things up there. So let's do the first thing up there. It says, what are the most innovative NFT projects today? This is part 3. So in part 1, I told you we need to get some criteria. Yesterday was part 2, where I told you the criteria of how we should judge these NFTs, and today is part 3, where we're actually going to go through them. And again, just in summary, that we looked at the Quirkies on Ethereum, the Recovery Bears, the Soul Gods on Solana, Mad Lads on Solana, CryptoPunks on Ethereum, uh, Bored Ape Club on Ethereum, Doginal Dogs on Dogecoin, Doginal Cows on Dogecoin, Ladies on Ethereum, Alien Boy on Ethereum, Bored Ape Yacht Club, I already said that, and I think that's about all. The Undeads, and I really wanted to put some of the Bitcoin NFTs on there too. But indeed, I purposely tried not to talk about the ones that I'm involved with, the Heineken and the Bored Pack Club, and then really just all the Ethereum ordinals. They're definitely a different class. So anyway, when I looked at all those, it looks like the one that is the clear winner that satisfies all of the characteristics that we wanted to go for was Mad Lads. So Mad Lads is kind of what I want to talk about today, because again, that was the one that kind of satisfied everything. Mad Lads launched in April 4/20, 2023. So it's one of the oldest ones. It's in the top 10 NFT projects that have ever been made. It was a successful public mint on April 21st, 4/20. It was a one day delay. It was a 10,000 collection piece NFT collection, and it was credited by the Backpack slash Canal Team founders. All right, and it had the anti front running bot that was launched that where they set up a bot so that because there was a problem with people because the mint was so extremely hyped. A lot of people wanted to get in, and what you do is if there's a mint that's hyped, you put your money in, you put your hand in the hat fast, and you try your best to mint all of the NFTs early. So and then you sell them on the back market. And what happens is because we were on Solana, the bots were overwhelming other collections. So what they did is they had some kind of a fake collection for the initial bot, so that all these bots would have. They caused a massive congestion and they forced a 24-hour delay on it. But the team was able to prevent the extortion threats and the DDoS attacks by using that bot to capture all of the NFTs. Uh, they use their own bot in order to prevent people from front running the mint. In other words, that's the whole theme of the package. It's the first time that had been done, and it really was cool. So that I'm really glad about that. That's something historical that these mad lads have done in order to prevent people front running their mint. And indeed, again, it was right at the hype of NFTs back then. I remember that. All right, the second thing that they did is the honeypot solution. For the relaunch, Backpack devs created a fake honeypot mint site that looked identical to the real site, so that bots or anybody trying to front run the site were automatically redirected to the honeypot. But legitimate users, I'm talking about the delay because remember I said it was supposed to release 420, it was actually released 421. With the delay, these bots minted the fake NFTs and sent $250,000 worth of soul, $250,000 worth of soul to the honeypot contract trying to front run it. And it's just so that they were assured that people really did get the right NFTs and it wasn't all bots. And this anti-bot tactic helped make the Mad Lads the most memorable and successful NFT launch on Solana, even to this day. It's still a very high-priced one. So again, it's one of the best NFT collections. Remember, I was going to isolate the very best one. And the whole origin ties into Backpack's founder and a bunch of stuff with that. All right, what else was it? The Mad Lads are involved with after parties. They're involved with real meetups. They've had a meetup in Kazakhstan, Solana Blockchain Conference Week, just less than a month ago, and they had an official networking reception, had a party. If you had a Mad Lads, you were VIP at that selection. I remember some of my friends who are deep within crypto were telling me about that. All right, what else? The Mad Lads, they have this thing where they play Mad Lads poker. So, and it's within, I think it's within Discord, almost like its own virtual world. So remember, that was another one of the characteristics. We wanted the collection to have its own virtual world, and the Mad Lads and their whole poker within Discord, it allows you to have that identity of it. And what else? The Mad Lads have also been involved with this whole backpack exchange thing. So if you own a Mad Lads, you get lower prices whenever you're making these crypto exchanges. Remember, I said that would be a good thing to do, to have some kind of perks for owning the Mad Lads NFT on Solana. And what else? The other thing that many other collections don't have is there is a monetary value for every Mad Lads where you can store your Mad Lads inside of a contract. You put them in a contract, and you can get money from loaning out your Mad Lads, where somebody will actually pay you money and in Solana for you to let them borrow the Mad Lads. So I like that. And also, Mad Lads, they allow you to stake the Mad Lads to earn a special type of Mad Lads currency. So Mad Lads really does satisfy all of the characteristics that I had where I had built up. And they, again, their own site, their own exchange is called Backpack. It's actively trading tokenized equities. Partnerships for SEC registered tokenized stocks are coming up. They're involved with the DTCC, the ecosystem, which will have a big edge in a world where tokenized stocks become mainstream. Backpack can potentially bypass a lot of these other NFT companies the NFT collections because they're regulated, they're on chain, and they allow real settlement of real equities with better liquidity, compliance, and isolation from scams from the inside. So this whole backpack slash Mad Lads is really good. Remember, I am involved with the Heineken communities most specifically because I know the founder. He's a Virginia dude, and number two, the dude has it incorporated in Virginia. And ever since then, I've decided that if I'm really going to fall in love with the NFT project that's supposed to eventually go towards mainstream adoption or make money, then it should be regulated. So this whole Mad Lads thing on Solana falls right into that, especially with that DTCC ecosystem, where they'll be in line with such companies as BlackRock and Visa and stuff like that. This whole Mad Lads is a very smart and special collection. Very happy to be part of to know them. Now, you might say, Lope, do you own a Mad Lads? And I'll say, no, I cannot afford it at this time. Mad Lads, they were running 6 Solana before. Now, back when I was buying Solana when it was $10, that was cool. I remember Solana was $3. That was cool. But Solana is more closer to $86. And I don't have if it's 6 Solana, would be probably at least five or $600. I don't have that in my back pocket. I'm living paycheck to paycheck so that I can make sure that I can do what I need to do in this life. I'm a very poor person, but indeed, I still am NFT rich. So one day I will purchase in Mad Lads. I just can't afford it yet. Again, it's one of my favorite NFT collections that we're looking at. So that's that whole point about the most innovative NFT project. Again, put Mad Lads up there, even over such things as the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Even I put that over that. I wouldn't put them over CryptoPunks, of course, because that's the holy grail, and I wouldn't put them over my Bored Pack Club on Dogecoin because we actually meet up with people, and I wouldn't put it over the Heineken community because they really do education. But indeed, if you don't look at all those other communities, which I'm already biased because I'm a part of those, so I can't even really talk anything good or bad about them. But if I were an outsider and somebody said, hey, you can only have one NFT project, I swear to you, I would definitely consider Mad Lad. So please, 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 if you hadn't heard about it, again, that's the title of my talk is New and Innovative NFT Projects. And, don't get you a Miladies or Alien Boy because indeed, those are great. Alien Boy had that game that crossed over different games. Really cool niche products. Even the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they had a niche product with their little metaverse. Uh, Soul Gods, they're getting their whole ecosystem. Recovery Bears, I like the dude. But indeed, there's the one thing that is so unique and so new, and it's really going to be pushing forward new growth again is Mad Labs, and it's cheap too. All right, now number two, I say what NFT community is new and unique that I'm looking at right now. Let's go back to my face. The best NFT for mass adoption. It's got to be fast. It's got to be cheap. It's got to be easy to get. All right, now I'm still looking for some cryptocurrency that actually goes according to Satoshi's vision of putting data on the blockchain. And I've been a member of many of these NFT communities, which means I've been part of different cryptocurrency blockchains. The only one that consistently keeps popping on my radar that is associated with Bitcoin, that has the name of Bitcoin in it, so it's piggybacking off of the true value of the brand awareness. Again, it's Bitcoin SV, and Bitcoin SV has one NFT collection in it called something Foxes. I think it's called Pixel Foxes. I think it's something like 10 million NFTs in there on the Bitcoin SV blockchain. Bitcoin SV is also important for people all around the world if you want to put stuff on the blockchain in a cheap manner. And again, the reason that I like it is because it can go towards mass adoption. My little tiny NFT company, the Bored Pack Club, only has 333. It's very niche. Even my CryptoPunk only has 10,000 NFTs with it. It's very niche. If you take into account that there are 300 or maybe 340 million people in America, even on the other side of the world, you have in many countries, you only have about 10 million to 20 million people. Even places that I thought were big, like Pakistan or Dubai and stuff and such. Millions of people means that if you're going to have a collection of NFTs, and this is worldwide. So therefore, I really do like the thought of Pixel Foxes on the Satoshi SV blockchain. That's the blockchain that can put data on, and it has this NFT collection that has millions of potential people who could be members of it. It's called Pixel Foxes. Again, I'm just talking innovative NFTs, okay? Because the bottom line of all of this stuff that we're doing, putting art on the blockchain, is if there's nobody behind us that pushes us, if we're not growing, then we're dying. If we're not actually doing what Satoshi's original vision was of putting information on the blockchain, then it's just a circle jerk of your own hubris. Everybody trying to look important and look special, and be proud that you're part of a tiny club. But indeed, that's not mass adoption. That's not what Satoshi was all about. He wasn't about us. He wasn't about us using crypto. He wasn't even using crypto as a way to skirt past or to get past sanctions. Satoshi's vision was peer-to-peer idea exchange of putting stuff on the blockchain in a really cheap and easy manner, with big blocks. And again, that's why I love Satoshi's vision. It was delisted from major exchanges. They talk mess about Craig Wright, the dude that started it. Even though he said, I might be part Satoshi, I'm not mad at the dude for saying that. He was an OG from the early days. If he says he's part Satoshi, then shoot, I can be part Satoshi too. We could all be part Satoshi. It doesn't matter. Why are you going to worry about that crap? Anyway, I'll stop crying. That's my other point, though. Pixel Foxes on Bitcoin SV layer. If you are in my group, in my community, or especially in my smaller community, and you're looking at work that I can do for international people, like out there in Dubai or even Singapore, even Pakistan, even any of these countries over there on the other side of the world, please, please, please do your research about that called Bitcoin SV. Because indeed, I think there is a lot. That's probably the only blockchain that might actually have a use case past everybody trying to get rich off of this crap. All right, so that's that point. Again, thank y'all for coming up here. I do appreciate it. And thank y'all for being involved with this here group. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Let's look at this audience. Good. Even Mr. Heine showed up this time. Thank you so much, Mr. Heine, for being up here again. I'd have nothing but good stuff to say about the Heineken community. And again, remember, I told y'all, and then Mr. Recovery is up here too. Both of y'all. Wow. That is great. Yes, indeed. And I definitely love innovative NFT projects. And indeed, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but that doggone Mad Lads, the fact that they're historical and what they did is really wonderful. And the fact that they are allowing you, they're in bed with some bank or something, where they're allowing you to borrow off your NFT. I don't know how they do that. You got to have a lot of big, deep pockets to say, hey, you give me your digital picture and I'll give you some Solana, with the hope that you're not going to just run away with the loan, run away with the money. So that's really cool. I know my CryptoPunks, there's some platform somewhere they'll let you do that with a CryptoPunk, where you can put the CryptoPunk in storage and you get money out of it. But anyway, that's the point about these NFTs. Let's go on with this next thing. Let's see. I'm going to have to pick up my phone. I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to pick up my phone while I'm talking on it, but I don't remember the third point. What's the third point? Oh, what is the new PvP art idea for NFTs that can be used to increase revenue for a place or a country or to progress human innovation? All right. And so this is the part. Remember, if you hadn't seen me ever since my cruise, or if you hadn't been in this space, I have been purposely trying my best to have reduced NFTs, reduced talks about these NFTs. I really have. As I'm doing reduced talks for these NFTs, that's some patient. I don't want to leave him alone. I've been trying to cut my shows so that they don't go over an hour. I really wish I could cut them down to 45 minutes, because it is prime time. This is time that you need to be with your family. I really feel bad. Plus, you need to be in other people's spaces. There's a lot of people that are trying to get out of this whole NFT thing, so I really want to isolate specific things. Now, this is going to be another one of these things where I'm going to break it down into 3 different days, where I'm going to talk about how you can utilize the knowledge that you have in order to create some kind of goodness or something innovative that can go past just having a piece of art on the blockchain. All right, and this is an innovative NFT project that crosses cryptocurrency. This is really something for me to get excited about. Now, I thought about this on my cruise, and I thought about different places in the world that could use crypto for more than just gambling. All right, so bear with me. All right, so I hate to say it, but I had to pick a place that I have a large audience following. So that already rules out, like, I don't think I have anybody over there in China that's in my audience. I might have one person in Kazakhstan, but I couldn't really choose that. I don't think I have too many people in Latin America. I might have a couple people in South America, in Brazil, but I know the majority of the people that might own my NFT might be people that have Dogecoin. So I got some people out of Great Britain, and then I got a lot of people out the UAE, Dubai, Pakistan area. So those are the two places in the world that I was looking at being able to use crypto to make the world a better place. And I've tried to find a problem, and then I want to have a solution to the problem. So today I'm going to identify the problem. All right. So, and just off the cuff, this is a world that is about to experience a lot of inflation. I think the first wave of inflation started when Bitcoin was formed in 2009, 2008, right after the housing market crisis, when Satoshi he placed on the blockchain in 2008, October 31st, 2008, when he released the white paper, and then when he released the first transaction, January 2nd, 2009. The very first thing that's on there is that newspaper clipping about them bailing out these banks. And when you bail out a bank, when you say that the bank doesn't have to pay their debt and the U.S. is just, or whatever, the World Economic Forum or the big banks, the world banks are just going to absorb them and just bail them out and give out free money. You have more money trying to chase the same number of goods. That's the definition of inflation. You inflate the money supply. So this whole inflation thing, it didn't just start. After that, though, remember we had, after the housing market crisis, there was the other crisis with the infection, the pandemic, COVID crap stuff, 2019. And then after that, you where they tried to bail out some more money. So we've been pushing this whole inflation thing for a while, and now it's right about to come to fruition. We're trying to blame it on the war and this conflict between Iran and Israel. We're trying to blame it on the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz. But the truth of the matter is that this whole inflation thing has been building up and it's right about to rear its ugly head. And there are going to be a lot of places in the world that are going to be suffering. The places that are going to be suffering the most are the ones that are deep in bed with the United States dollar, because if the dollar ends up having to inflate, then all the other countries are going to end up inflating too. But it's going to start with the dollar. And because the dollar is closer to the money printer, because there's a such thing as the Cantillon effect, where when Congress, they benefit the most because they're the ones that are lobbying and they got their own friends that are getting the free money first. And then it trickles out to the rich people that own stocks, people that own equities, and then eventually it's all Americans. And then the next people who will benefit would be foreigners who are deep close to their money printers. The last people that benefit is the common person. Usually the common person that might be in another country, the middle class in another country, they suffer the worst. And that's where the middle class turns poor and you have a real terrible traumatic event, like what happened in the 1990s with the Japanese people, where the U.S. Kind of messed up their stock market, and they hadn't been the same ever since. So if you're a middle class person in England or UAE, Dubai, or Pakistan, you really need to know this. So I isolated UAE, Dubai, and then I looked at Pakistan, and I said, hey, Pakistan is probably the place that I'm going to look at the most. In Pakistan, they have a lot of people who are suffering. A lot of their citizens are poor, and on top of that, they're still having inflation of their current PKR currency. So I said, okay, if I were over in another country, how could I solve the problem of the country and save the world? And the problem is money. You don't have enough money in your country. You don't have enough money from the outside coming in, and you're trying your best to just kind of make money off the poor people in the country. Now, if you're outside of the country and you're coming into Pakistan, why would you buy a Pakistani product? If you want goods, or if you want some kind of goods, you get it from the Chinese. If you want services, you get it from America. If you want oil, you can get it from America or the Chinese. What is it that Pakistan could offer the world where you can get money from the outside? So I thought about it, and I think that it's going to end up being tourism, especially if you have a glut. Let's say that there's some sort of depression on one side of the world. Let's say that all of a sudden the United States inflates up their money, and let's pretend that there's two countries who are isolated from all that money printing. Let's say the first country we already know about is Russia because we kicked them out of the United States circle, out of our inner circle, right around the time with the Ukraine thing. So Russia won't suffer if the U.S. Inflates a bunch of money, messes up our money. And then the second country that won't die so quickly would be China because they're kind of outside of the U.S. circle. And as long as they don't bail out the people that own houses in China, then China will end up really profiting if the U.S. really inflates their currency and betrays the trust of the world by revaluing gold and revaluing Bitcoin and trying to inflate money to pay off their debt. If the U.S. really does that, which would be a terrible thing, but if they really revalue gold and revalue Bitcoin and pay off the debt that way, they would betray the trust in the world, and other foreign countries wouldn't buy our U.S. bonds, and then the U.S. would have to buy our own bonds, and we'd have inflation. All right, and so therefore we really jack up other countries. But the people in China that aren't suffering, the people in Singapore, the rich, wealthy people, they're going to want to go somewhere touristy like. And if they've already been to the Taj Mahal in India and they've been all around the world, they're going to want somewhere new to do tourism. Well, enter Pakistan. This Pakistan is a country that is coming up. It has upward mobility. They're the ones that wanted there to be peace between Iran and Israel, and they started this whole peace accord thing with the U.S. in the middle of it. Pakistan's really coming along. Pakistan had a bad reputation of having most of the country being the Muslims that want to kill Christians. But lately I've heard that they're more towards peace and prosperity, and they want to really bring forth a newness onto the world stage. And they even have reformed some of their crypto laws. So they're becoming more modernized. And I thought, if I'm a visitor and I'm a tourist and I want to go to Pakistan, I need three things. Number one, I need a reason to go there. Number two, I need to have good, fast internet because I don't want to be out in some jungle somewhere. And then number three, I want there to be the protection and the truthfulness in the country. I don't want somebody to say, oh, it's going to be safe over there. I go over there and get mugged or robbed or beat down. So those are three things I want. I want a reason to do the tourism. I want there to be good internet and blockchain and crypto, all the digital stuff that I'm a part of. And number three, I want there to be truth. All right, so if I'm a person and I'm a tourist and I want to go somewhere new and exotic in the world, something that Pakistan could offer, and which I think they're offering, is they're offering a gas bridge over the province of the Murray. Now, that's in the Punjab district. Now, I don't know that much about Pakistan. I know that it's a country over there, and it's in between Iran and India, and it has Russia and China. It has a bunch of people all surrounding it. I know that Pakistan is, if you were to compare it to a U.S. state, I think it would be as big as if you took two Californias and put them side to side, or if you took one big old Texas along with Arkansas. If you took Texas and Arkansas, I think that would be the landmass of Pakistan. And then as far as how many people that live in Pakistan, I think it'd be about 20 million, something like that. If it's 333 or 340 million people in the U.S., it would be smaller than the U.S., but it'd still be bigger than other countries. So that's all I know about Pakistan. I've never been over there. I'd love to go over there one day. I also know, though, that they do have the Richie district that's called Islamabad, perhaps. And then I know about the Punjab district, which is kind of in the country, but it's a touristy place with rolling hills and beautiful architecture, and a lot of wealthy people live there. And there's a woman that heads the Punjab district. Her dad used to be like the prime minister of Pakistan. All right, so and her name is Marianne. I don't know her last name, but she's really beautiful. Anyway, long story short, if I were a tourist and I was coming from China or somewhere, or even Singapore, some wealthy country, or even Russia, some wealthy country that didn't get all jacked up when the U.S. started printing money, and I were a Chinese multimillionaire, I want to go there and experience something new and different that I've never had before. Because that's what rich people want to do. That once they make enough money and once they show off their wealth, they want to tour the world and do the tourism stuff. Well, this has never been done before, where you have a glass sky bridge over, they call it the Murray Glass Sky Bridge, that's going over the Punjab beautiful hills and is overlooking the Himalayan mountains. Very beautiful. So this whole bridge is in construction right now. The Punjab district already gets millions of dollars to build this bridge as a tourist attraction. So that's the reason that I want to go, because I say it's three things. Number one, I need a reason. If I were on the glass bridge, I would love it if I could look down and see a cricket game playing below me. I love it if I could be on the glass bridge and look down and see the women's soccer games. 'Cause that's another big thing that's coming up in Pakistan is women's sports. I love to see a women's soccer game. I love it if I were on the glass bridge and I looked down and I saw a beautiful wedding, even in one of those traditional weddings by people that study Islam, you know, where they have all their traditional stuff. I'd love to see a wedding. I love weddings in general. I'd also love it if I just got up there and I could just see the Himalayan mountains, and maybe I had a backpack and I could do some base jumping off of the glass bridge. So that whole glass bridge is a wonderful, beautiful idea. Also, what if I were on the glass bridge and I looked up above me and there were some drones that had different colored lights and they acted like it was a waterfall coming out of the sky from God above? That would be really wonderful, a good visual thing. So the number one thing, again, is a reason to go there. So this whole glass bridge in the Murray would be great. All right, number two, if I were in another country and I was a Chinese citizen going there because the U.S. jacked up their money supply thing and most of the world's poor, but I'm a rich Chinese or Russian person, I'd go over there and what if on the glass bridge they have two things? They got Starlink satellites. I got a Starlink satellite right now that's letting me this service. I did Starlink satellite over on the ocean until they confiscated it. I love Starlink satellites, and that's something that you could put in the middle of the glass bridge. You can put them on either side, you know, maybe every couple miles, and you could have good service where you can connect to the internet, because that's what the foreigners want. They want to be able to show off and do Facebook pictures or Instagram and say, hey, look, I'm on the glass bridge. All right. Or if you're in China, they got WhatsApp, I think. And, you know, they want to take pictures. They need service. The other thing, though, is you could do some crypto mining. Oh, yes, because you're going to be way up there in the sky. The glass bridge is probably going to feel some sunlight. You can use some kind of solar powered converter in order to convert that energy with energy you can use in order to mine Bitcoin SV. And I keep talking about Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin SV is a cheaper version of Bitcoin. A long time ago, Bitcoin split away from Bitcoin SV because Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, well, I don't want to tell you the whole story. But anyway, long story short, Bitcoin SV lets you put large amount of data on the blockchain at one time. So that allows us to be able to put information on the blockchain. Bitcoin SV is very much more useful as a blockchain, as a way to communicate ideas. The SV stands for Satoshi's Vision. Bitcoin SV has these YouTube videos that are still coming out. It's not a dead chain, even though it gets a lot of hate, because other people want to just use Bitcoin as a gambling thing. They're not even really spending Bitcoin. I told you yesterday that even in El Salvador, the one country in the world that legalized Bitcoin to pay for your taxes, took back that thing and said, oh, we might not let you pay your taxes in Bitcoin. Over there in El Salvador, where it's legal to have it, nobody uses Bitcoin as a means-to-means exchange. They still go back to the US dollar, even if it's a Tether dollar or USDC. So this whole thing about Bitcoin is whatever people pretend to use it as a store of value or even a Bitcoin treasury, something is not useful if it's not being used. Whereas Bitcoin SV, you could mine it on those things, and we're still kind of early, so we'd be able to actually have a profitable mining business to mine Bitcoin SV that we can use. And then the third thing, remember I said there are three things. Number one, a reason to go over there, the little glass bridge where I can base jump off of the bridge, or I can watch a cricket game, or I can watch some kind of a mosque. I can look at mosques down there where they're doing services, or even, you know, Lord's willing, there'll be all kinds of people that want to do stuff off of the glass bridge, or just to see the Himalayan mountains and seeing that beautiful digital waterfall supplied by drones in the air. So indeed, this will be a good crypto moment. And especially if I remember, I'm all about NFTs. They're the one NFT that's owned by Bitcoin SV, or those digital foxes. So I'd have my little digital fox t-shirt I'm on the bridge to show that I'm important, and I love Bitcoin SV. But then the third thing is authenticity, veracity, truthfulness, honesty, whatever word you want to use. That thing can be used along in conjunction with my NFTs on Bitcoin SV and with the blockchain Bitcoin SV, because I can get on Bitcoin SV blockchain and I can write a statement and I can put that up on the blockchain, and it'll be permanently recorded that I, Lope, also Digital Fox or Pixel Fox number 35789, were able to get on this Murray Bridge, this sky bridge, this glass bridge that goes over the Himalayan mountains. And I was able to get up there and have a good tourist experience. And because I'm writing it on the blockchain and it's permanently up there where nobody can change my testimony, my testimony that I actually did it. You know, if you get people all over the world, all these tourists to get up there and to write on the blockchain, hey, I was up there and I had a good time. Hey, it's safe over here on this side of Pakistan, even if you even if you're a Christian. They don't want to kill you on this side because they want the tourism money. You know, if all of a sudden we were able to do that and actually use crypto and use our NFTs and actually use the blockchain for what its real use, that would be a real good thing. So indeed, I really want to do a deep dive about this idea later. I don't want to talk too much at one time. So again, I'm gonna make this a 3-part show. But indeed, that's what I wanted to lay the stage for. Number one, a reason to do the tourist stuff. Number two, you need to have internet up there. So with the Elon Musk Starlink thing, and then number three, you're gonna want to have Bitcoin SV mined using solar power so that you can have a blockchain where you can put information up there and have real testimonies of people going up there. You can also put all kinds of other government information up there. Like if you have women that own land in Pakistan, you can have a permanent ledger, a digital ledger that can't be altered by anybody up there that hates women, women owning property. Hey, there it is. It's right there on the blockchain. If you want to have people that have truth to say about having a positive experience in Pakistan, you can write it and put it on the blockchain. All kinds of good use for the blockchain. But indeed, I want to talk a little bit. I hope I was able to tickle your ears and bring forth some kind of new knowledge to us. Now, I do have several founders in the building today. I do have the founder of Recovery Bears, Mr. Recovery. His name starts with D. I don't think it's Dwayne or Duarte. What is your name? I'm going to call you Mr. Founder of the Recovery Bears. If you want to talk, this is a good time while I drink my Powerade. I finally got a good drink. I can't stand Gatorade Zero. It's bad. But go ahead and talk. Pick up the microphone and talk, whoever wants to.
What's going on, brother? How's it going?
Going great. Good to hear your voice. Yep. I want everybody to know about all of my friends up here. Follow everybody in the room. The Mr. Recovery Bears has his thing on Thursday at 6 o'clock. I pray that I'm awake or I'm able to try to tune in and participate. I might be driving between jobs. I definitely work 2 jobs every day. Even today, where I just worked at this one nursing home, I had that summer session for the little children that I teach dance for. I'm super busy, but I bought some recovery corn the other day. I told somebody else about Recovery Bears. I had a new, unique idea that I did do a direct message for you. I kind of don't want to talk about it right now because I'm a human being just like everybody in the audience. There are certain things that I might be addicted to in the audience, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you know, we all struggle with our own addiction. That's why I love Recovery Bears. If I told you that I'm addicted to eating food, and you'd probably laugh at me, but you know, that's real addiction. If I told you I'm addicted to smoking weed and listening to music, you know, you might say, oh, that's not an addiction. But if it affects you, you know, we're all subjective creatures. So something that affects me might not affect you in the same way. We all have our own demons to try to fight. And indeed, that's why I love Recovery Bears. It's really one of my favorite projects of all crypto. So I'm really glad to know you and to have met you in real life. And then Mr. Heine, I saw you up here, but I think he had to go take care of his little child. Anybody else that is a founder, anybody else that wants to talk, please raise your hand, pick up the microphone, talk.
Yeah, what's going on, Lou? I brought some. Hold on, cut this off.
You brought some cabbage?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes. Yeah, it sucks. I tell you. That's what I do. Turn it off.
Love you, brother.
But I love you.
See you tomorrow, man.
I hope so too. Yeah, Thursday will be 6. Yeah, I'll do my best. And thank you for showing up. Now, this is the time where I'm going to go ahead and end the space. I'm going to pray over everybody in the room. I'm going to talk about my own individual project called Board Pack Club. It's 333 NFTs on Dogecoin. We do 3 things. We meet in real life at a casino or on a cruise ship. Number 2, we have it after the show. late at night, I get on in my MetaQuest, Oculus Quest 3 virtual reality, and I play cricket or I play games. And then number three, after my regular show, because I do these talks every day, I like to do an individual NFT communities lore or fiction. And I usually involve my board pack club. And I like to do it out of the kindness of my heart, but also because usually the founder will gift me an NFT. And I love NFTs so much that that's a good payment for me. So if anybody ever wonders how are you making money off of your show, well, every now and then a founder will gift me an NFT and I'll do a story, and then I'll wait long enough. And if their community is really strong and that NFT grows in value, then I just made money. So, and I'm not one that sells the doggone NFTs, but I mean, I like to look back and think, hey, somebody gave me this NFT, and now 3 years later, everybody, half the country knows about Recovery Bears, and if I wanted to sell it for a Lamborghini, I could. But anyway, we're just fantasizing. Let's go ahead and pray over everybody in the audience, and then we'll do a Recovery Bear story, because he did gift me a Recovery Bear. Are y'all ready? Let's bow our heads. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for Mace, Chris. Thank you for Angus. Thank you for Athias. Thank you for Sogu. Thank you for Nabudit. Thank you for Shimisiri. Thank you for Maya Dabi. Thank you for Crick. Thank you for Henry Jack. Thank you for Andrew Eve. Thank you for Chaos. Thank you for Falco Phi. Thank you for Stray Linder. Thank you for Mason. Thank you for Raul. Thank you for Alyssa. Thank you for Sol Castro. Thank you for Zach Trick. Thank you for Snipper. Thank you for Martin PR. Thank you for Thomas. Thank you for KO. Yeah, KO. Wow, I love that. That is a revolutionary NFT. Thank you for Crypto Pulse. Thank you for Crypto Expert. Yes. Thank you for Daniel PR. Thank you for Recovery. Thank you for everybody out here. May God bless you all. May God keep you. May God wrap his everlasting loving arms around all of y'all. Let's all follow each other. Oh, Heavenly Father, please let us all get follows and let us all continue to stack our crypto and not sell it, even though it looks like a bear market. And God, please give us love in our heart for each other, love in our heart for you, oh Heavenly Father. And let us all have a hunger for knowledge. I pray that I said something out here that might make somebody be motivated to learn more about this world and about how we can solve the world problems together, because we're all in this art together. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Woo! What a great little prayer. All right, I'm going to play the story for Recovery Bears. It's the shortest story I've ever done. It's only 2 minutes. I did this on the cruise ship. I'm probably going to redo this story and do another fan-based fiction lore story for Recovery Bears on another day. This is what I do in association with my Board Pack Club. In addition, like I say, meeting in virtual reality and meeting in the cruise ship or in a casino. So I hope you enjoy this story. After that, I'm going to
Once upon a time, a group of bears and a group of dogs shared a central village in the middle of the woods. The younger, fun-loving bears noticed that if they didn't come together to talk, they'd end up on different eating cycles, and thus different pooping cycles, pooping randomly all around the woods. They loved playing hide-and-go-seek, where one bear would close his eyes, count to 2100, and the others would hide. But sometimes a bear would accidentally hide in a pooping spot and end up with diarrhea all over his fur. So the bears decided to eat only at night and poop only at dawn in the center of the village to keep their dignity. But there was another community called the Board Pack Club, spiritual, Buddhist monk-like dogs who loved waking up right before dawn to see the sunrise and meditate. When the bears all started pooping together at dawn, their peaceful prayers got interrupted by fart sounds and the stench of bear poop. The dogs tried to tempt the bears with delicious chili dogs and nacho cheese meals during the day to mess up their schedule, but the bears stuck together and resisted. The dogs even tried shaming them, saying, "Shame on you for pooping at dawn, you dirty bears." But the bears stayed united. The dogs built a giant fence around the center, but the bears climbed over it. Then they built a roof, enclosed the area, and locked it up, calling it a safe house. But the strong bears tore it open and kept pooping there. Finally, the frustrated dogs studied the bears and discovered their hide-and-seek game, realizing why they needed the central spot, so they wouldn't accidentally step in poop while playing. They also noticed how coordinating made the bears happier, with more of them playing together. So the wise dogs adopted the strategy themselves. They started gathering every night at 8:05 to talk, pray, meditate, and discuss the day's events. This time didn't interfere with the bears' schedule. Eventually, the dogs even copied the bears' eating and pooping times, and sometimes joined them in hide-and-seek. They all shared the safe house, met at 8:05 on some nights, and the Recovery Bears and Board Pack Club lived happily ever after. The end. How'd I do? Want me to tweak anything or?
Nope, you did a great job. I'm showing you one of the NFTs.
I love it.
I tell you, I hope you enjoyed the story of being together, coming together again. It had a good message. Yes, indeed. And with the pooping too. I'm so sorry about the pooping, but it's kind of funny.
That's funny, man. It was funny.
And then I hope you understood about the safe house. That's one thing with my man that does Recovery Bears. His platform has a safe house. So if let's say you're addicted to something, there's a special place that you can go where you can get support, and it's an individual website. I don't think he's getting any money out of it, but I think he's really influencing other people and helping other people, and that's what we're all here for to do. Whether you're in the Heineken and you want to educate, whether you're with the recovery and you want to help people that have addiction, or you need to help yourself, or whether you're just a person that likes to go to casinos and cruise ships and play in virtual reality like me with the Board Pack Club. So we all have purpose in these NFTs, which is different than 99% of the projects. All right, so I'm very glad to be up here. Thank y'all again. I'm gonna play the music. I look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow. I look forward to being part of Mr. Recovery's show tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I think that's when he has it. Now, let's see, where does this music start? There it goes. Tell you exactly how the Zanker should feel. Every day is a ritual of opening the door to a house built of data that we built on the floor. The laughter is sharp and the wind is a blade, cutting the silence where the fortunes are made. The ledger is breathing and the canvas is bright. We are the pulse in the center of the night. Step into the space where the future is now. I am pulling the lightning straight out of the cloud. From the strokes of the brush to the clouds, singing like the voice running. Good job, y'all. It is on. Take a seat at the table, and I will show you how. Love is the name, but the frequency is high. Join me where the old world comes to die. No still information. Hold on. There is like a thought. Hold on. Just the cutting edge truth that can't help me but. Ooh, I am watching the trends. Touching the trends. Shatter the glass. Shatter the glass. A jester and a scholar while the minutes are past. Cryptocurrencies tumble and rise like the tide. The visionary spine, a new place to hide. I catch the movement before it becomes a routine. The finest performance that you have ever seen. The laughter is sharp and the wit is a blade. Cutting through silence where the fortunes are made. The ledger is breathing and the canvas is bright. We are the pulse in the center of the night. Step into the space where the future is loud. I am pulling the lightning straight out of the cloud. From the strokes of a brush to the notch in the chain. I'm the voice running deep through your brain. It is on and it is going. It is happening now. Take a seat at the table and I will show you how. Is the name and the frequency is high. Join me where the old world comes to die. Step into the space where the future is loud. Pulling the lightning straight out of the clouds. The lights in the tank, the voice running deep through your brain. It is all it is golden. And now take a seat at the table and I'll show you how. What is the name? Great job, y'all. Thanks again for coming out. I'll see y'all tomorrow.